Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
And this week we're talking about the episode Tabula Rasa.
Memory loss!
Oh, that's a fun episode.
So this episode originally aired November 13th, 2001, attracting 5.4 million viewers. This episode starts with Spike confronting Buffy about their kiss at the end of the previous episode, and she tells him that it will never happen again.
Only until the end of this episode.
Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
Then defends him from an attack by a demon loan shark. And I do mean an actual loan shark.
Hey, look, it's a guy in a suit that has a shark head.
It's so good.
They just had to go with that.
He looks like a street shark.
Exactly. We have more fish people, and they're actual just loan sharks.
He's just got a shark head. It's so good.
Don't mess with him. He has the serious business. He needs to get them kittens.
Spike owes 40 Siamese kittens as payment. Oh, I just love this show. Willow, Xander, Anya, and Tara talk about their discovery that they called Buffy back from heaven, not hell. Willow suggests fixing the mess with a spell, and Tara confronts her about her excessive use of magic. At the threat of losing Tara, a desperate Willow pledges to go a week without magic. At the magic box, Giles tells Buffy he is leaving for England so that she can learn to stand on her own, and Buffy takes the news very badly. With the gang now on the way to the magic box for a meeting with Giles, Willow hangs back and begins another spell in the fireplace, using a crystal and some of that forgetting herb that she used earlier. That will make Tara and Buffy forget their troubles. Pocketing the crystal in her rush, she accidentally leaves a full bag of the herb on the hearth. At the shop, Giles informs the Scoobies, including a disguised Spike on the run from the loan shark, that he is leaving. And Buffy tearfully reveals that she feels deserted by everyone. Back at the Summers house, a spark from the fireplace sets the entire bag of that forgetting herb on fire, causing the whole gang to fall unconscious. They wake up that evening with no knowledge of who they are. Spike suspects Giles is his father because they're both British, and Giles feels gut-wrenching disappointment towards him.
A wonderful case of they don't know who they are, but they have vague memories of specifically remember tiny things.
Anya assumes she is getting married to Giles because she is wearing an engagement ring, and they jointly own the magic shop. Willow and Tara think they are a couple because they woke up next to each other and Willow is wearing his jacket.
And Xander... Yeah, quite honestly, Xander was just Xander, just with memory loss.
Giles, Anya, Xander, Willow, and Tara figure out their names from their IDs, and Dawn's from her necklace. Spike assumes his name is Randy because of the inside of his coat. And Buffy, with no evidence to her identity, names herself Joan. Joan.
Because, I don't know, it sounds cool to her.
A pair of the loan shark's vampires attack the shop looking for Spike and frighten the gang. Buffy discovers she has super strength when she stakes one of the vampires and saves Spike. Anya and Giles remain at the magic shop to work on spells. And they promise they won't summon any bunnies.
Only all of the bunnies.
Well, Buffy and Spike head outside to fight more vampires, and the rest of the Scoobies retreat to the sewers in an attempt to get to a hospital. Unfortunately, they are menaced by a vampire as well. When attacked, Spike unknowingly assumes his vampire visage, which sends Buffy running away in fear. When he catches up with her, Buffy attacks him and informs him that he is a vampire. He is confused because he is a good vampire, and assumes he is a good vampire because he doesn't want to bite her. The loan shark and his minions attack the two, and a fight ensues. A vampire with a soul? How lame is that?
But
You notice how when Spike talks about how he's good, he literally just recites Angel's story? I love that. It's so good. Back in the shop, Anya tries spells from a book and conjures numerous bunnies.
More bunnies.
Frightening her and exasperating Giles.
Well,
Giles just has a shitty time in this episode, and it's great.
Just a little bit.
Every time Giles has a shitty time, it's funny.
I just love that it's like Anya, even despite memory loss of anything, she just is afraid of bunnies.
Yeah.
Just because
They're terrifying.
they got those teeth.
And the little twitchy noses. And why all the carrots? What do they need such good eyesight for? Giles and Anya fight while hiding behind the counter, and Giles reveals that he found a one-way plane ticket in his pocket to England, assuming he must be abandoning Anya. Anya begs him not to leave her, and they kiss passionately. In the sewer, Xander fights with a vampire chasing them and finally stakes it. But when he accidentally steps on Willow's crystal, which fell from her pocket during the commotion, the crystal shatters and the spell is broken. Finding Giles and Anya kissing, Willow atop Tara after a fall, and Spike and Buffy deep in mid-action conversation. Tara and the others in the sewer realize that Willow used magic despite her promise. With the spell broken and her memories rushing back, Buffy is momentarily too stunned to duck a few painful hits. Spike finishes off the rest of the vampires and promises to make up his debt to the rather intimidated Lone Shark. Lone Shark. Back at the house, Tara packs up her belongings and leaves as Willow cries in another room. Giles takes his plane to England. Spike finds Buffy at the Bronze, but she turns her face away and he stalks off. Later, however, they are shown kissing passionately beneath the stairs.
Another episode where they just ended off on them kissing.
So.
And also Tara is apparently just moving out.
Yes.
She's out of here.
So, what did you guys think of this episode?
Decent level of not so great feelings. Just cringe. All the stupid cringe.
Okay. I really like this episode, and it's one of the last ones we're going to have that's even, like, kind of funny.
I can somewhat agree with that, but just when it comes to people with memory loss or other sorts of things like that, it's something I have a hard time tolerating. Just... the couple cases that people get into are mildly funny, but just kind of cases of... Did someone just have a lazy day and they were just like, oh man, we need an episode for Buffy. Could someone pull something out of the bin? How about everybody loses their memory?
So
that works.
They need a way to have Willow break the promise to Tara and continue that relationship.
And she was already using, like, some kind of memory loss spell on...
So that had already been established, and they obviously need... that Willow has to go down this path.
Yeah. I suppose that's true, but just kind of in the case of... It had to be so quick just with that. Just kind of a case of, I promise, that just throws so many particular questions onto Willow with all the particular
I'm
stuff.
sure this is supposed to move the plot along.
Yeah,
in
like
the coming episodes.
They're setting stuff up for the future.
Yeah.
They
can't just drag this out too long.
Somebody needed to be hit with a plot stick, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It's a requirement kind of thing. Okay. So, for international titles, there aren't really any. It's just kind of tabula rasa for everyone.
It's not even an English word or anything, so I mean, it makes sense.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, we've had others that aren't exactly normal phrases that other countries have interpreted weird.
The forget me spell.
I wouldn't even be shocked if some country did. Anyway, so for music, we have Thomas Wanker with the original score. And we actually have a live musical performance in this episode from Michelle Branch, who plays the song Goodbye to You, which is from her album The Spirit Room, which had just come out a couple months prior. Which is an album that I can almost guarantee you know at least one song off of.
I don't know.
Trust me, you do.
You watch the episode, you know at least one of her songs.
Okay.
No, like, it's literally an album, if I played it, you'd be like, oh, I've heard that song. Oh, I've heard that song. Oh, I've heard that song.
Oh.
I haven't listened to a radio in 20 years, and I knew some of the songs.
Okay.
So, yeah. That album sold like 3 million copies and was released when she was 18. Yeah. So, was there anything else about this episode you guys wanted to talk about?
Why don't you take out the book on bunnies? Oh wait, right. Memory loss.
Just kind of.
Well, it wasn't specifically on bunnies. It's
No,
just
it was
Anya
just-
trying to do magic.
Okay,
It's just
Anya
kinda-
tried to do magic, but apparently half the spells she listed off just made more bunnies.
Yeah,
well,
but
there was also that big green cloud that was up above them after she got all them bunnies. And then that skeleton was summoned.
it also could just be that like it uses like whatever your greatest fear is, and for Anya that's bunnies.
Maybe.
And who knows what those bunnies could have been capable of.
And then I guess the skeleton guys are probably Giles' fears or something. I have no idea.
Or just like a giant like a skeleton with a sword is kind of inherently scary.
I guess.
Like if a skeleton started running at you with a sword, you'd be pissing yourself.
Like, shit, not now.
I don't have time for this shit. Alrighty, so if neither of you have anything to add, next week we'll be talking about the episode Smashed. So, you remember Amy?
Amy.
The one that got turned into a rat?
Oh yeah, right. There was a rat.
She's getting deratted.
Ooh,
She's getting
neat.
unrattled?
Deratted, yes. The trio robbed the Sunnydale Museum of Natural History, and Spike and Buffy have a moment, let's say.
Oh boy.
Let's just say there's going to be an abandoned house that collapses. But that's a story for another time.
Ooh, can't wait to see Amy again then.
Yes, she's coming back, and she won't be a rat.
Will she still have to finish high school?
Because technically she didn't, yeah. You know what? I don't think that's ever touched on.
Okay.
But until next time, I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.